Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. I've been kind of out of touch for a while, and it was about the worst time in the world to fly overseas. And hold on, my phone went off. Fly overseas and be out of touch for about 2 weeks with all the craziness that's gone on. Crazier than anything I've ever seen in the credit card points and miles space. And we thought the Chase refresh was rough. I mean, wow, this has been crazy. Well, let's see if anybody's here so far. Looks like we've got a few who are already on here. Dem says, good afternoon, everyone, and let the Bilt games begin. I want to say thank you to Dem because I messaged him a little bit earlier, and because he had posted, and I'm not very good at using the Discords, finding stuff. It's just a weird format to me. But I messaged him about a calculator that he had found that was pretty helpful in figuring out the two different ways to do the different choices for your mortgage and all that. So he sent that to me. So Dem, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Great to have you here as always. All right. Nemo, Los Angeles. Nemo's here, says hello. Hey, Nemo, good to have you here. Tulare, often here, says channel member. Appreciate that very much. Says hello, Bob, and everyone here. Good to have you here, Tulare, as always. Happy Tom, often here as well. Hello, Rewards Master, and hello back to you, Tom. Good to have you here. Tampa Travel, another channel member. Great to have you here. Says evening, Bob. Good evening to you as well. And Nicholas is here. Good afternoon. Good to have you here as well. I don't know how to say that. I'm just going to call you Ree. That's what we call my daughter. Her name is Ree-Ann, so we call her Ree. So I'll just call you that. The Pandemonium name is Laugh Out Loud. That's exactly what's going on, man. It's just crazy. Augie's Travels says, happy Saturday from Charleston, North Carolina. Well, happy Saturday to you from here in Mississippi. Good to see you. Good to have you with us. Dem says, my pleasure. Happy to help. I appreciate it, Dem. You're always helpful. I appreciate that. And Nicholas asked, did you get the new Bilt card? I did. I'm going to talk about it. I do want to say, just to kind of get things off the ground, and we got 29 in here already. That's a lot for the first 2 minutes. So I think this topic is still hot. I thought about, should I even do anything? I've had several people kind of message me and say, are you going to do anything on the Bilt card? Well, I was in Korea working, and I was staying like in a apartment that the school has there. So I had some Wi-Fi, but I didn't have a lot of downtime. It was a intense 2 weeks of work, teaching classes all day, every day. So it was just a lot. I had a fantastic time though. By the way, I'm going to take my wife back. Nona and I are going to do some reviews and stay in hotels and have a great time because I love Seoul, South Korea. It's one of the greatest places I've ever been. If you've not been, maybe some of you have for work. I mean, I saw a lot of American business people coming in and out. It was great. Flew business class both ways in American Airlines. It was a great experience. Just had a fantastic time. But it was a bad time to not have time and a good studio. I did a few little things there, as some of you might have seen, but it wasn't a great place to be able to deal with the craziest credit card stuff that I've ever seen happen. So, all right, Stacy is here. Good to see you, Stacy. Hello, good to have you here. NB6 is here. Says Bilt option 1, 1.25x, or 2 Bilt cash. Which do you prefer? Going to get into it, I promise. Daniel is here. Daniel, good to have you here. It says it's a YouTube live kind of Saturday. Yep. I tried to fit it in between. So hopefully this will fit in between. Dem says, I'd love to learn more about how you plan to integrate the Palladium card into your wallet strategy. Yep. That's what I'm going to get to. He also says the effective multiplier is pretty impressive at 3.3. It's more than just impressive. It is. That's why some of this pandemonium makes sense to me and some of it does not. This is the most polarizing thing in the world. And it's interesting because I've had some friends kind of message me and say, hey, be careful because people are calling guys who are for the new Bilt card that they're sellouts to Bilt and all this. And I didn't even, in the description, I didn't even put my referral down below because I don't want anybody to think that that's what I'm doing. I mean, this is not my job. It ain't ever going to be my job. It's just a fun hobby for me that I get to do here on YouTube. And so, I always try to tell y'all what I actually think, and that's what I'm going to do on this. And so it'll be unfiltered and just what I think of the situation as much as I can understand it. Stacy says, Seoul is amazing. So clean. Temples are beautiful. Was there before, points and miles. Yeah, it is unbelievable. They heat the roads in this giant city of 23 million people. They heat the roads so that the snow doesn't stick. It snowed while we were there. Unbelievable. And I mean, the most modern city I think I've been in. I mean, and that includes Dubai. I mean, it's just skyscrapers for 40 miles. Unbelievable. So clean. You're right. And people are so nice, and it's really cool. Juan Garcia's here. Good afternoon, Bob. Good to have you here, Juan. Appreciate you being here. Dem says, not to mention how valuable Bilt points are. I know. It's just absolutely something. So Nicholas says, I was denied. They said too many inquiries. Look like I'm out. Yeah, I'm. A lot of people are getting that, and I don't know what the deal is. Chad's Money Minutes. He gave me a little shout out earlier today in his live. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate you too, man. And I do feel like we're kindred spirits. Hopefully we'll run into each other, maybe at the next meetup or something. Love to get to know you better. And Nicholas says, you're a good guy. I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Dem says, yeah, this community needs to chill. They're just cards, and we all do what works for each of us individually. Sheesh, the toxicity I've seen over the past few days has been crazy. Okay, off my soapbox. All right. Well, I'm going to start in. I don't have anything planned today. I'm just going to talk from the top of my head and share your comments and respond to those. But I'm going to tell you, I understand a couple things, just kind of as foundational. The new cards are vastly different than they were before. They have completely changed strategy, and they have a new target consumer. That's what has to be recognized. Now, that works for some of us. In fact, I'm going to tell you straight up, it works for me. It's going to work amazing for me, I think. And they want a new consumer. They do, because Wells Fargo, you remember that report a while ago? Wells Fargo was losing $10 million a month. Now, Wells Fargo Bank is one of the top 5 banks in the world, can absorb that. But I promise you, Bilt can't. And Cardless, they can't. And so they had to do something. I mean, I think people have got to recognize it had to change in some way or another. But it just amazes me that, in my opinion, not all the cards, but some of the cards changed in an extremely positive way. So I think it's really going to be something. So foundationally, I'll say that. The second thing is that you got to look at the cards apart from the whole rent and mortgage factor, in my opinion, because, like, for instance, I wasn't getting anything on my mortgage anyway. I never got into that other card. What was the name of that other card? It's defunct now. But, the one that Mesa, that's what it was, that allowed you to get points on your mortgage. I never got into that. So I wasn't getting any points on that anyway. So I'm looking at it, step one, as are these new cards good just as cards, just as credit cards, and yeah, the top card, $4.95, and they're taking away this. Yeah, but is it good? If it didn't have any mortgage or anything associated with it, would those cards be good? That's the first question I ask. The second thing is the other stuff kind of gravy on top? And I think that it is. And so that's kind of what I'm going to get into. So those are the two things foundationally before we get started into it all. Augie says, I've got approved for the Obsidian card, 24,000. He's talking about his credit limit. My Wells Fargo Bilt card was at 15. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, my limit got raised too. And so some people are getting that, but some are getting denied. I don't know what their algorithm behind the scenes is looking for, but I'm telling you, it is clear they're wanting to change directions, and they're wanting a certain type of consumer because And everybody's saying, well, it'll be gone in 2 years, or it'll be, I mean, not everybody, but some people are saying that. And, it would be if they went back to the old model, because that was not sustainable. I mean, even one of the largest banks in the world said it wasn't sustainable. So it wasn't going to happen. Dim says Cardless is the server. The cards are issued by Column Bank. Okay. Yeah. But do you think Column Bank can absorb what Wells Fargo can? No way. So I think that kind of proves the point, so to speak. All right. So did I get the new card? I did. In Korea, I was able to, as soon as the day came about, I guess it was Wednesday. It kind of was weird because it was glitching on me. The app was glitching when I was trying to transfer to the new card, but it went through. I have the Palladium card coming, and I got a credit limit of $35,000. So my previous Bilt card was $30,000. The new one's $35,000. That doesn't matter too much to me because I ain't going to put that much money on that card in a month, probably. So maybe I do have some months that kind of big spend. So maybe that'll be helpful, but probably going to do sign up bonus. I mean, on a month when I got 20 grand to put on a card or whatever, I'm probably just going to get another Amex Business Platinum to get 200 or 250,000 points with that kind of spend. So, I mean, the credit limit doesn't matter as much to me, but they did give me a good one, and it seemed to go through real quick. Okay. Dim says, heard that people were lying about their mortgage payment, thinking Bilt wants consumers with higher mortgage payments, as if that doesn't appear on your credit report. LOL. Yeah. I mean, I just told my mortgage is low. I mean, we have a lot of equity in our house, so my mortgage is low. I just told them what it is because I wasn't getting points on it anyway. Any points I get on that are going to be kind of on top. So really, I say no. The cards are uninteresting. Mortgage, rent, and no. Okay. Well, Phil, yeah, the way I understand it, you are like the king of churning cards. So I can see that point exactly. All right. YGG World, Wiggy World. I guess that's how you say it. But good to have you here. Why try the Bilt Cash for a year and see what really they can do? Yeah. I mean, we'll try the Bilt Cash for a year. That's what I'm planning to do too. So let me tell you how I see it. Well, first of all, just a couple things preliminary. We're still in preliminary. We got 44 people watching, and looks like 13 have hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Maybe some more people will get in here. That helps, as well as any super chats, super stickers, channel memberships, stuff like that. So anything like that would be helpful. But kind of on a preliminary note, I noticed Joe Barretto had a video out earlier today, and I don't think he's a fan, and that's fine. I mean, I think, like I said, I do think this card is polarizing. I think for some people, it's like, no way, just like Phil just expressed. And Phil's a serious credit card guy, as is Joe Barretto. So I get that. I mean, it's the different strokes, right, for different folks. But Joe made a statement that was kind of true. He said, to figure the thing out, you got to have a PhD. Well, let me tell you, no, you don't, because the rewards master, I've said before, I'm a professor. I have a PhD, and I'm not sure I figured the whole thing out. I mean, it's tough. It is so convoluted. And then they change it in midstream 2 days later. Well, they add something to it 2 days later. I mean, I get it. They are super complicated. And to try to just explain it to normal folks. So I got picked up at the airport by my niece. My niece is, she's young. She's in her 20s in her career and rents, and had the Bilt card on my recommendation, for the last few years. And she's like, what do I do? Which one of these do I go with? And it was interesting to me because it was like, whoa, she's like, I don't know what to do. And then she said this, though, and this is this is why I said you got to look at the cards for the cards first, and then think about all the rent and the Bilt Cash and all that stuff afterwards. Because she said to me, she said, well, we're thinking about maybe just doing the Chase Sapphire preferred card. And I said, well, hold on just a second. So the Chase Sapphire preferred card is $95 a year, and it gives you 3X on dining, 2X on travel, 1X on everything else, and then 2X online grocery or whatever. I said, but this new Bilt card, you can get 3X on either dining, or most likely you'll want to choose grocery, which is a category that you can't really get with Chase at all. And then I said, and you're still getting the 2x on travel. And so in essence, I said, it is the same card, but just slightly better than the Chase Sapphire card with better points. Because I'm telling you, I think these cards might be a Chase killer. I mean, them and Capital One, different cards. I mean, right? The Obsidian versus the Palladium versus the Sapphire Preferred and versus the Venture X. I said, because, I mean, it's the same card, but you can get some points on your rent. Yeah, but what if I can't spend that 75%? I said, then whatever you spend, you're still getting extra points on your rent. It's just gravy on top of the other card if you could get. Now, yes, I know somebody would argue, well, but if you get the Chase Sapphire card, you're going to get a sign-up bonus. That's true. But I mean, my niece, she's kind of a hold her cards long-term, just live her life kind of person, like a lot of people are. And for those people, tell me that new Obsidian card's not better than what Chase's main card is. I mean, it just is the card. I mean, not even thinking about the Bilt cash and the rent and all that, the different having to calculate. Just the card. You're getting Bilt points. They're Bilt points. And if the big thing about Chase is Hyatt, well, guess what? You're getting Bilt points that transfer to Hyatt at the same rate. I mean, how can that not be better? How can that not be better? So it was intriguing. And so I think that Obsidian card, now I will say the blue card, I just can't, I wouldn't recommend that to her or to really anybody. That is just a placeholder card to me, that they're doing that just to keep some of their low spenders in their ecosystem and not have to reward them that much. I mean, I think that's a business strategy there. But that's not the card they want people in. I can't imagine. They want people in the Obsidian and they want people in that Palladium card because they're looking for a new customer. That's what it seems to me, at least. Let me go back here, and got a lot of comments to get to. We got 68 watching. My high of all time is 72, so maybe we might beat it today. Let me go back to comments. All right, here we are. Nicholas said there were people were over 20 increase on their credit were getting approved. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, their model is they're looking for something. Dim, 1073 a month here. Yep. Nicholas inquiries. Stacy, it's a non-starter for me at this time. I'd apply if there isn't another card that I want later this year. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to work for everybody. And I don't think that's a right or wrong thing. That's why everybody going crazy about it. It's like the passion. Wow. The passion. You'd think we were talking politics or something, a religion. I mean, the passion people have for this is just unbelievable. JB Rothman, channel member. Great to have you here, JB. He says, I have a PhD and I can't figure it out either. Yeah, I think I kind of have the basics of it, but I mean, nobody's going to know until we see what those Bilt cash points are worth. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. Tampa Travel, still a little uncertain about primary CDW insurance and how long gold status lasts. The nearest I can tell, it doesn't have primary CDW. So, I mean, I'm just going to put that on I'm not getting rid of, at least for a while, my Chase Sapphire Preferred. So I'm just going to put cars on it. That's what I'll do. Dim says MFE, MBA, and CFA here. Still trying to make sense of it. Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat. Thick Boy, good to have you here, Thick Boy. Sorry, I'm always late to these, but I do love me a good Rewards Master Live. Hey, you guys make me feel good. That's great. So supportive. Tom Bagwell, good to have you here. Tom says, I think I got the 5X from TPG at 500 per month on rent day with Palladium. You can get 50,000 sub, 50,000 TPG, 20K on rent day bonus for the year. That would be more to cover 30,000 in mortgage, 150,000 points. Yeah, the the TPG, and then I think Frequent Miler, they had like a special link or something. I didn't get that. I just went through the app, but yeah, it sounds good. How's that TPG 5X thing work? I don't know. I don't have it, but maybe Tom can comment on that. Nicholas, Capital One needs to do something. Their lineup is getting really old. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the Palladium is a Capital One killer. I mean, I can't see a reason. Now, I might keep my Capital One. I just, for my live tomorrow, my regular live, I'm going to go through what my cards actually produced as far as, my net annual fee, effective annual fee, if you will. And my VentureX did okay, so I might keep it, but I can't imagine wanting to get it over that Bilt Palladium card, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. Spathco, good to have you back. Says, outside of hunting the sub on the 495 card, this only really works if it's your only card. Once you pull spend off of 5X cards, subs, etc., Bilt's earning scheme falls apart. It's also cardless. Yeah, that cardless thing, not too exciting, but all right. Kevin P is here and drops a $10 super chat. Got the Palladium, no rent, no mortgage. I think it's a great travel card. Yeah, I mean, I do have a small mortgage, and I'll probably try to get some points with it. But I'm with you, Kevin. Like I said, I mean, that's going to be my basic card. That's going to be, because as just a card, just like I said, ignoring the whole rent thing, ignoring the whole mortgage thing, that card is really good. I mean, I don't see how it can be argued against at its base earning rate of 2x in the most valuable points in the game. I mean, no doubt. Let me tell you how valuable. If you haven't done, and I did a couple of videos on this just while I was traveling because I was so blown away, but I started off flying to Korea in economy, and then I worked my way up to a better economy. And then I worked my way up to, as they kept dropping prices, because American does that. And then I got in premium. And then I got in business class for, I think, $95K. But then the day before, I think, maybe 2 days before I traveled, it became available on Alaska. So I got a flight that would have been $3,900 for $75K with Alaska points 2 days before my flight. I mean, that return is just, the cent per point on that is just off the chart. So I get you, Kevin. I mean, I think it's just going to be a great earner. Nemo Los Angeles, good to have you here. Says hey to JB. Dugras Nostalgia, logging in from your other channel. This is awesome. People seem quite interested in Bilt, apparently. Yeah, I mean, maybe nobody's heard about this thing. So yeah, good to have you here, Dugras. Source King, realizing the cards without any kind of information regarding the value or possible usage of Bilt cash is wild. Releasing the cards. Yeah, I mean, the rollout was, you know what I wonder? I wonder if the confusion is kind of intentional, because if it is, it's kind of genius. I mean, what card has ever had this much attention? Ever. I mean, kind of crazy. And the way that they're doing this is, yeah, it's frustrating people, but you've heard the old thing, in YouTube. I try not to do this too much, but do you notice how most is an overgeneralization, but many like thumbnails and stuff have a really negative idea, even if the video's not, I mean, bad news sells. I mean, it does. And I think we see in society that bad press is still press. I mean, I don't know, because it's been crazy, but man, everybody's talking about Bilt. All right. T.S. Anderson, good to have you here. Channel member, says, thoughts on using the Alaska 6K companion pass, 18,000 points with rent to reduce the Bilt cash needed, and Summit 25K companion pass. The player two, or I could get those Alaska cards. That's our plan. Yeah, I have an Alaska card. I haven't really dug into that aspect of it much, because the airports I fly out of, Alaska doesn't fly out of. I have to use my Alaska points for American, and I don't think their companion passes work on American. So I'd have to drive about 3.5 hours to fly on an Alaska metal, flight. So I'm thinking about doing that, if it saves me enough, but I think it can be a good deal if that's a couple of the other questions. And somebody on here has got to have the answer, but when it comes to their new system, there's just some things I've seen mixed reports. First of all, can you still pay with an Alaska card for that 3% fee? If so, I might shift to start doing that. Secondly, can you pay with any card for a 3% fee? If you can pay your mortgage with any card for a 3% fee, this situation is broken for some of us. I mean, in a great way, because that's going to be my strategy. I'm not going to put any mortgage on that Bilt card. I'm just going to use my Palladium and get the 2 points per dollar plus whatever that Bilt cash is going to be worth. And I know it expires at the end of the year and all that now, but I'm a spreadsheet warrior. Spreadsheet warriors get our value. I mean, we're the guys who make it unprofitable for them. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put all my mortgage through them because Plastique doesn't work anymore for that. And Mellow, is it Mellow? What's the other one that you can pay? They don't work for mortgages. If I could put my mortgage on whatever the card I'm working on my sign-up bonus, I'm just going to use my mortgage for sign-up bonuses to get, 30 points per dollar. And then all my regular spend, it's quite a lot of regular spend is going to go on optimized cards. I mean, I'm going to use the Elite card for dining on Friday and Saturday. I'm going to use my Prestige for dining all the rest of the days of the week. I'm going to do some gift card strategy. I'm going to do a lot of things to maximize. And then all the rest of the general, man, it's going on that Bilt card, because what a broken system that'll be in a great way, right? I mean, I'll get my sign-up bonuses without having to use any of my regular spend. It's something I was having to pay and wouldn't get nothing for before. And I'll gladly pay the 3%, gladly, to get sign-up bonuses met. So that to me is the really, really broken potential. But I'm not sure if they're going to let us do that or not. And I've heard mixed reports. I've had some say yes, some say no. I don't know. Hey, relax. Good to have you here, eh? I was approved for the Palladium at 1024. Honestly, this card has the chance to be the best on the market, and it's hilarious to see people underrating it. I agree. I'm really shocked. I mean, unless it's just a visceral reaction from people who were buying the 5 banana thing and getting Brent points. I mean, but I saw a dude who made a post on Facebook, I think, who said his rent, he must live in New York or Los Angeles or San Francisco, because his rent is $5,000 a month. So here's a guy who was buying 5 bananas and running $5,000 through that thing. No wonder it's unprofitable. No wonder. And he was not happy about the change. I understand in his situation why that change is not good. But from Bilt's perspective, it kind of makes sense. Dim says, Tampa travel gold status will initially last 2 years after you hit the 4K. Yeah. And we haven't even talked about the Rakuten thing. I mean, with Rakuten, man, you're going to be able to rack up those Bilt points. It's going to be crazy, crazy good. I'm going to do a Dugras. Celebrate. Is that I did it poorly. I'm sorry, Dugras. I don't mean to rain on your awesome parade. But I have 82 people watching. That's the highest count I've ever had on a Rewards Master Live. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm excited about it. Cryptic Galaxy. Good to have you here. Cryptic Galaxy says, I got the Obsidian. Going to try it out for a year to test drive it. I think that's a smart thing to do. I'm on the fence. Which other cards I have complement it better? CFU plus CSP or Venture X plus Saver. I don't know. It's I don't think the Freedom Unlimited. I mean, Chase Sapphire preferred. I mean, I think that this is kind of making Chase a little bit obsolete, even for Chase's big thing. They were the Hyatt, but this card is going to be better. Venture X plus Saver card's good. But I mean, for me, it's going to be City cards because I'm going to use the Alaska for American Airlines and I use the City for American Airlines. So That's how it's going to work for me. But thanks for chiming in. TS says, I'm so glad my venture is easy to hold either way with a simple credit, even if the Palladium takes all of its spend. Yep, that's kind of where I'm at on it. JB says, I think the Bilt Palladium versus Venture X loses on insurance, lounge, cost, credits, travel multipliers, sub. Only the value of the Bilt points scores a plus on the Bilt side versus the Venture X wins. Yeah, I wouldn't see it exactly that way. I can see why you do, but the value of Bilt points is so much more, in my estimation, than the value of Venture X points. Just the way that I travel, probably, but I love to do last minute to get great deals. And I mean, with Venture, it's difficult with their partners to do that, but with both Alaska and American, it's really good. So Citi and Bilt are always going to be tops for me until something changes. But I get that. Venture X is a lot easier. It does have better protections. There's no doubt. They slashed the protections on these somewhat significantly. And so if that matters, I don't really think about that much in my situation because I have status with airlines and they usually take care of me and all that. But if that is what matters, the Venture X is still the winner as far as ease of use. There's no doubt. Value and ease of use. I mean, those two things together, the Venture X is great, but wow. I mean, I don't know how valuable those Bilt dollars are going to be worth, but if they're worth 1 cent per point and being able to get Lyft, I use Lyft rides. I mean, I'll book hotels. I don't ever use hotel points. I always book through portals and get credits on my cards. I have so many cards with hotel credits. So, I mean, it could be great. It could literally be a 6X card if that's the case. Now, I'm not saying it will be because I don't know exactly what those Bilt dollars are going to be worth. But even if they're at half of that, I mean, if they're at 50 cents on the dollar, it's still a 4X card. I mean, 4X, that's really pretty good. I mean, how can that not be? So that's kind of how I would see it. Nemo, Los Angeles says hello to Nicholas. Dugraw says, I have a degree from the School of Hard Knocks and I can't even. Yeah. So I was afraid you were going to get on me for trying to do your celebrate thing. Okay. Did you get the racketing card? No, don't have the racketing card as of now. Gonna look into it, but kind of too much other stuff going on with all this going on. So Relax says not using this card for rent, using it as my daily driver as long as Bilt cash can be freely redeemed for hotel bookings. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a 4 to 6X card, depending on how that works out, which is pretty amazing. Thick Boy says at this point, with all the challenges and subpar multipliers, I'd rather have the Avianca card and then the Bilt card. Okay. Avianca card. I haven't looked into that one much. Augie says, I see Chase at some point doing a refresh on the preferred. Yeah. I think Chase is going to have to think some stuff through. I saw Matt Clausen had something on Chase earlier today. I haven't got to catch up on everything, but I think Chase is going to be in damage control mode. I wouldn't be surprised if Capital One is going to be too. I mean, this is a challenge. It's kind of a challenge to everybody except maybe Citi. I mean, because you can get pretty good value with Citi. So I mean, that's my take, and everybody knows I'm a Citi person. So, and you can't call me bought out to Citi because they don't get no referrals or nothing. I mean, I just like them. I just like them. All right. Reese says, if they market it as a travel card instead, everyone would have been head over heels on this card. And everyone would be talking about jumping Amex and Chase ships instead. Reverse marketing. Yeah. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But yeah, it has worked out that way for sure. Dem says, New York Times released an article saying they're the most confusing credit cards ever for whatever that publication is worth. And they're right. They are. Points Dexter says if it was a real travel card insurance coverage and lounge access would have to be better. That's true. That's true. Relax. No, you can only use Bilt card for mortgages. For rent, you can use other cards. Oh, well, that's disappointing. That's really disappointing. Okay, I'm gonna have to rethink some stuff through with that fact in mind. Points Dexter, I think Kerr said that you can't use any other cards for mortgages. Okay, I hadn't heard that. Like I said, been out of the country, so you can pay rent and homeowners association, not mortgage, in Alaska and United States. Okay, everybody's letting me know. Burst in my bubble. That was going to be great. Still though, I get extra mortgages, extra points on my mortgage with Bilt. Still a good deal to me. Doesn't change anything in that regard. You can pay rent on United and Alaska, not mortgage. TPG bonus was only for 1 day. Walgreens and Walmart gift cards at 4.3x with Palladium. Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe not quite as good as what is available with some other cards we won't mention, but yeah, on gift cards, but still good. John's Credit. Hey, John, good to have you here. John's got a great channel. Check out his thoughts. He's kind of got a particular niche that I always enjoy watching. Dem says Walgreens gets a 3x multiplier. And I currently have 124,000 racking in points going to Bill. Hey, that's a win. Awesome, Dem. With another 40,000 pending. That's a stack for sure. We got 96 people in here. That is just awesome. I've never even come close to that many before. That is amazing. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Let me see what we have. I mean, I'm having trouble keeping up with comments today. Anybody know the deal with MasterCard Legend or whatever it's called? Does that come with positive value? Well, the Elite card is a MasterCard Legend also, and I don't know that it comes with that much positive value. I mean, I haven't noticed it. Nemo says Dem's killing it, and he is. JB says, I'm paying for rent on my Summit card through the Bilt platform and get 3x Atmos miles. I don't need a card for that, and the Bilt cash doesn't help. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're renting, not without a mortgage, and you're already getting all those Atmos points, that makes sense. Makes sense. Nicholas, people were mad when the people that were supposed to transition seamless into the new card were denied. I would have felt that way too. I mean, especially if I was relying on it for the points that are involved with your rent and all that. I would have felt that way too. I get that. Bilton City will be my core points earner, but I'll still keep my platinum. Yeah. I like to up and downgrade platinum stuff, so I'll do some of that still. But I'm with you. Bilton City are going to be heavy in my wallet. Dem says Bilt cash can be used one-time status upgrade for better redemptions. Oh, really? Okay. That's in other words, you can bump yourself from gold to platinum or whatever to get a better transfer bonus. That's pretty awesome. I think I had heard that before. And they've run 100% transfer bonuses a year. Yeah, I mean, that can be pretty amazing. Ree says earning points on rent was always the gravy on top. Bilt 2.0 came out as the best travel card in the game right now. 2x on everything. It's the ability to earn points on rent is unmatched. That's the biggest thing I want to say about it all. And that is that I think if you take all the rent stuff away, you take all the Bilt cash stuff away, I still think that the Palladium card is the best card that there is. I mean, that's what I think. And I'm not saying that to promote it, or I didn't even put a link down below in this. I just really do, because I was excited when I thought that the Bilt cards, remember in that initial press release like a year ago when they sent out us emails and they had different options of the cards, 2 different no annual fee, 2 different 95s, 2 different 495. And one of the no annual fees was going to have 1.5x Bilt points. I was like thrilled about that. I'm like, that'll be my new catch-all, because I consider 1.5x Bilt to be better than 2x with Venture, or 2x with my Blue Business Plus for Amex points, and maybe even better than double cash with Citi, or at least close. I mean, definitely more versatility. So yeah, I think the card, just forgetting all the other nonsense. I mean, the basic idea of the card, you can get back at least $400 through the travel portal of your $495. So to pay $95 a year for a card that's going to earn me 2x everywhere, Bilt points that are become JAL miles or become Alaska miles or become Hyatt points, that's pretty good. I mean, and I guess it's just, it all got lost in all of this confusing rollout and all of the difficult stuff to math out, that we've got a 2x Bilt card now, a 2x catch-all Bilt card. That's just crazy good. Crazy good. Kevin, we have 97. We might have passed 100. I just didn't pay attention. I don't know. Maybe we'll get 3 more. That would be an incredible milestone. So if you haven't hit the like button, 36 have hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, do so. That or if you channel memberships or super chat, super sticker, anything like that helps. And to reach 100 would be just amazing. Kevin says, if the 200 Bilt dollars can be combined with the 400 annual credits, would be sweet. And let me say that this card's got gravy on top of it. So it's like the gravy on top is you're getting 2x. That is the base. That is what makes it awesome. But then if I do get some Bilt cash and I can pay my mortgage every now and again and get some extra points, that's just on top. That's just like the cherry on top of the sundae, you know? I mean, it's just extra. That's how I see it. So yeah, it's all confusing. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but at the end of the day, even without all that, it's still a great card, the Palladium at least. And actually, I think that the Obsidian's pretty good for that group of people that wanted a card. And I told my niece that. I said, well, you might not get all your points on your rent from now on. I said, but you'll get some. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to put on the card, but if you put all your grocery spend on there, you're going to get some Bilt points and you'll be able to get some on your rent payment. How is that not a win? It's a win, at least in my book. All right. T.S. Anderson says, I got the Blue Business Plus for Rakuten under the assumption I would lose silver status, but now I guess it's a waste. Yeah. I mean, Jerome Hilton says, Jerome, good to have you. Jerome. Yeah. Good to have you here. The $400 credit on the Palladium could have been better. It's a little restricted with the 2-night minimum. Yeah, I agree. But 2 nights, it can be worked to get your value back. I mean, I think saying 2 nights twice a year is not terribly hard, depending. I haven't dug into what I can tell you this. I use the City portal a lot. I use the VentureX portal quite a bit. And I can tell you, if you look, some brands, like for instance on City, I don't know why this is, but every time I look, some of the hotels are more expensive, significantly more, 10, 20% more expensive. But some, like with my experience with City, is that like Marriott hotels are the same price. I don't know why. Hilton's are more. Marriott's the same price. So I'm sure that people are just going to have to do some investigation to see what kind of value we're going to get with that. But I'm optimistic that it's going to be all right. Okay, World Explorer, good to have you here. Says, I think Chase is going to do pretty good with the preferred, being they have enough time. Unlike the reserve, they were working on it parallel to the platinum card, and they lost. Yeah, they kind of pushed it forward in competition and didn't work out good. TS says that 2-night minimum really hurts unless I choose to use it in China or something. Yeah, but I mean, I guess some people don't stay in any economy stays. We do on occasion, like if we're, staying just a couple nights somewhere, which happens quite a bit. Sometimes we'll tag on 2 nights at the end or the beginning of a long trip in Boston or New York when we got to, go and reposition to those places. And, we might stay in a Hyatt house or a Hyatt place or, even a Fairfield sometimes or a Courtyard, whatever. And I think it'll be useful for that. So at least for us. Family Travel John, channel member. Good to have you here, John. Disappointed that they aren't allowing earning points on Atmos cards with mortgages, but I think the Palladium will still be good. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've been out of touch, and so I wasn't aware of all that, and I'm disappointed on that as well. But as I have tried to state clearly, I still think it's going to be pretty great. Dim, but you can use an Alaska card from my understanding. You can? See, that's what I'm meaning. It's like, who knows? I mean, I'm keeping my Alaska card if that's the case, because that'll be good for that. Dim, based on their partnership. Okay, so you're saying for mortgages, Dim? You think so? All right. John's credit. Appreciate the shout out, Mike. Thank you. T.S. Anderson, 3X, CCC, Palladium, Atmos cards, and Wells Fargo Attune. The value. Yeah. I mean, oh, and I'm curious, did everybody keep and just go ahead and say that you want the Wells Fargo card? I mean, did everybody keep that? I did. I've never had a Wells Fargo card except for the Bilt card. So Wells Fargo wouldn't approve me for it. Autograph, they didn't like me. But I'm getting one now. So we're going to see how I like that too. Get to try it out. Let's see. We got 92, 93, 94 watching. That's awesome. Hit the like button if you haven't done that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, appreciate that as well. I'm almost to 2,500 subscribers. That would be awesome. The only thing I know about having a World Legend card is that it grants you instant access to Priority Pass. Okay. Greg, I'm putting my insurance and cell phone on the Palladium on the 1st of each month, 4X. 4X. Insurance and cell phone. B. Hemboy, good to have you here. If Bilt Cash can be allowed dollar for dollar to book hotels, that will make them super valuable. Yeah, we just don't know yet. But like I said, gravy on top. Gravy on top. Nicholas says, what do we think? What Wells Fargo is going to come out with? Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm so just focused on this right now, but I'd be curious because it's got to be good. I mean, that's the thing is that when things like this happen, it kind of sets a new standard, sets a new stage. And I think it's really good in the credit card space because it's going to make them more competitive. They're going to have to compete with one another if they want business. Ganoy. I'm terrible at these names. I'm sorry, y'all. This is exactly what I've been saying. Yep. TS says thoughts on 10% APR. That ain't gonna happen. I mean, I don't think. I mean, I'm not a prophet, but I don't think. The banks are very powerful. Just like why have they tried to limit these credit card transaction fees all these years and it's never gone through? Because that is a war between big, powerful players. Because Walmart and Target, they would love for them to be able to limit transaction fees, but the banks are on the other side. So the banks in America, banking's Luke said it on his live earlier today. Banking is a big deal in America. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. You got up to 104. I did. Well, not when I was paying attention, but I did. Over 100, first time ever. Thank y'all so much. So appreciative. This says agreed. Whale says this is a 2X catch-all card, Bilt card. I know it's a fire. It is. I love your fire emoji. It is. I mean, if it's so sad that it just is that fact is just like being overlooked. I mean, it's a 2X Bilt card, 2X on everything. I mean, that's kind of my point. Hey, relax. Care mentioned that you can stack Bilt Cash with the $200 hotel credits. If that's what he said, he's the guy who'll know if they don't change their mind. You know, that's the real key. The Palladium card, this is him boy says, the Palladium card destroys Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'm going to cancel it. Yeah, I mean, I do think it does. I mean, as far as earnings wise. Reese says, I see the Bilt Cash as hotel lift credit like Amex gives us Uber Resi credits. That's a good way of looking at it. But unlike Amex, you don't have to break it monthly. Can be used it once if you have enough. Yeah, if it turns out to be that way, you're right. It's better if it turns out to be that way. Kevin says, I noticed the same thing on the Bilt portal. Marriott is the same price and Hilton is way overpriced. I don't know what the deal is, but that has always been true for me on Citi. But if that's true on Bilt, that's great because I'll just stay at Marriott's. 2-night minimum stay. This is Money Maven. Good to have you here. 2-night minimum stay for 200 credit. Not great. Yeah, I agree. But we have had good luck using the $300 for a 2-night stay on the elite card. Hadn't been too bad. So it just depends. I mean, if you're a hotel points person, you gotta hate all these credits. But when I saw it moving this way, I shifted my strategy. So I pay for my hotels, and it's worked out pretty decent. You know, that's the way, to me, I had to do it, because if I was going to keep trying to do hotels with points, then I was going to have all these credits that were hard to use. But since we stay in, 20, 30 nights a year in hotels, and we're paying for them now, that these credits actually become pretty valuable. BPBL says it's crazy good only if you get approved. I'm an existing Bilt Card 1.0 card holder and was denied for the Palladium and offered only the blue. So much for the seamless transition in card one. Yeah, man, that stinks. And I get it. And I would have been very disappointed had they done that to me. I would have moved on, but I would have been disappointed for sure. Yeah. But I agree. This is a huge win for Bilt. Yeah, I think in some ways it's a loss with some people, but like I said, any press is in some ways good press. Dizzle says definitely keep it. Tampa Travel says already had autograph and custom cash. Didn't have to wait a product change my existing autograph and didn't need to. Selected to close. Okay, that makes sense in your situation for sure. Kevin says, meant to say you don't need to present a priority pass card for lounge access. Just have to show them the MasterCard Legend card and you're in. Yes, that's exactly true, because we have done that with the, but I'm getting to where I have so many priority passes. It's like I have a full lounge membership to the Chase Sapphire clubs, because you get, with every priority pass, you get one visit a year. Got like 6 of them, so I can go. It works out that way. I guess that's a benefit of having so many priority passes. But yes, with that one, you just show them your card and you can get in to priority pass. Damn bank lobbyists will never let that fly. No, I mean, the banks have to be profitable too. That's what people forget, is that there has to be, I mean, the only win-win situation is if the banks can make money and they can find a way to reward people. And that's, I am sorry. I mean, in a perfect world, it wouldn't be this way, but the reality of banking is that they're able to offer all these things because they know a certain amount of people are going to pay high interest. It's just the way that it works out. They're too powerful, Dem says. Absolutely. Tillery, congrats on getting over 100 watchers in the live stream. Thank you. We got 103 right now, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. Augie says, yes, I went ahead and got the autograph. I already have Wells Fargo active cash. Active cash becomes 2x when paired with the autograph. It does. It does. Now, if they had, Wells Fargo would be much more of a contender if they had better transfer partners. That's for sure. TS says, why does Wells Fargo hate us? LOL. Still don't know why, if they have a 524 rule. Yeah, but I've been under 524 when I've applied. They just don't like me. And what's crazy is I banked with them for many years, and they still don't like me. And they tell me my credit score right there on the page, and it's something they would want, I would think, and they still don't like me. So I don't know what they're – some of these banks are – like this stuff with Bilt, the people they're denying. Why? I mean, nobody knows. Money Maven says you have to spend $25K on Obsidian at 3x just to equal the sign-up bonus on Sapphire Preferred. Well, yeah, but what about the people who do have a lot of spend? I mean, I know somebody who puts $500K on their credit cards every year. This is going to be a game changer for them. And I don't think a person has to spend that much for this card to be great. I mean, if you're spending, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 you can put on this card, I think it's going to be quite good for those people. But that means it won't be as good for everybody. And that's the thing, is that I've been doing videos lately on my stage of life, and I'm at a different stage of life. When I was me 15 years ago, I don't know if these cards would have worked. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it in that way, but I will be, because I'm still making videos on that. So Reese says, imagine all the 4% Bilt cash one can earn while making 2x on the same purchases. Hope they don't get rid of it. Sounds too good to be true. 6x return on spend with 2x being in transferable points. And let's just say it. And the best transferable points ever. The best ever. Yeah, it could be a 6x card on everything. Avienda says, I'm looking at a hotel in College Town in Delaware, Marriott Courtyard, $358 nightly on Marriott app, $419 in Bilt Portal. Ouch. Okay. So I guess Marriott doesn't always come through that way. Cryptic Galaxy, I kind of figured they have to lower the 0.75%, need to unlock the ability to get the 1x back on rent mortgage, which was a little extreme. Glad the CEO addressed it with a new option 1. Yeah, that's going to be a little easier for some people to understand. And Romine is here and says, hey, everybody, good to have you here with us. However, I've kind of said what I wanted to say today. Any last comments? I'll try to get them in here, but I just wanted to address it and kind of give my take on it, that I think that the cards, the way to look at it is to look at it separate and apart from the rent mortgage mess and the Bilt cash and all that. And just ask, if there was nothing about rent and mortgage, would this be a good card for me? And I'm telling you, a 2x Bilt card is a good card for me at $495 that has $400 in hotel credits on it. I mean, it's a good card for me. And I think that even if you were to line it up, that the Chase Sapphire Preferred versus the Bilt Obsidian, I mean, if it were me, and I'm not kind of looking for a card in that realm, but if I were, I would say, like I said to my niece, I think that the Bilt card may be better than that too. I mean, if you don't get so caught up in all the other stuff, just looking at the card, I think, is the best way to do it. Thizzle says, you get milestone rewards that pay out in Bilt cash. You also get milestone rewards. Yep, that's true. And Reese says, would love to hear your initial thoughts on what made you decide to get Palladium despite all the online criticism. Well, it's this easy. I was looking and excited for a 1.5x Bilt card to earn 1.5 on everything. So when they came out with a 2.0, where I'm getting 2x on everything, the rest of it is just all kind of noise, because to me, I would pay if all it had was the 2x on everything Bilt points, and I had to pay $495 and I got a $400 credit, I would pay it. I would do that. That's worth it to me. I can put enough spend on that card to make it very, very valuable. And I really, really value Bilt points. So hopefully that answers your question, Ree. The Him Boy says, do you think the decope of Bilt cash usage will improve and be allowed in other areas? I don't know. It depends on how profitable they see it is. I mean, I could see them using that metric as their way to massage it all to make it more profitable for them. So I'm not optimistic that it's going to be 1 cent per point, easy to get value. That would make it a 6x card. And no card in the world's a 6x card. I mean, that makes this the best credit card ever conceived or ever launched in the history of credit cards and finance. So it might be, but I'm not overly optimistic. But anything they give in that regard to me is worth it. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Do you think the scope of Bilt cash usage will improve and be allowed in other areas? So that's what we just answered, such as portals. I don't know, but I think I'm going to be able to find some way because I'm not going to be all hung up on what can I use this Bilt cash for. I'm just going to find a way to use it if I can. If not, then I'll use it for some points on my mortgage, and that's just extra on top. So I'm really thinking that at the very minimum, I'm going to get over 3x Bilt points per dollar on this card because of being able to, if you can't find a better way to use it, just use it, pay my mortgage that month, whatever, and I'm going to get some points back. It's going to be potentially great. All right, Dem is off to dinner, and I've got to do the same, so I'm going to sign off here. Thank you, everybody. We had the most watchers. I think we got to 103 today, maybe 105. That was amazing. I did have one, I think one super chat for $10. Let me see. Yeah, that was Kevin P. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that very much, supporting the channel. Thank you for everybody who logged in. I plan to have another live, just kind of my standard live with PowerPoints and all that tomorrow. Just signing off. A few others said, Micah said to T.S. Anderson, the change in the Wells Fargo autograph is authentic, whether or not you get a Bilt card. Okay. Dem says at Bilt, BP says Dem at Bilt Dining Restaurant. Yeah, that would be good. And Nemo says, thanks, Rewards Master. Well, thank you to all of you. Appreciate you signing in. Look forward to seeing you in the next live. Appreciate you all. Thanks for making this the highest attended live I've ever had. Bye-bye.